So here it is, another Friday. It's time for us to take a look at some of our national and international headlines. As always, we have more stories than we have time for. So at the end, I will tell you how you can get a subscription where you can get 30 to 40 minutes audio delivered directly to your inbox. So you can download it to your iPod and listen on your way to work. A U.S. warship has gone into the Spratly Islands, directly challenging China's claims to the South China Sea. The Bikram yoga founder, Bikram Choundhury, is on the run right now after being ordered to pay some $8.7 million in claims. He's apparently in Mexico, and they are planning on arresting him before he leaves. A U.S. airstrike in Iraq has killed 105 civilians. The United States was apparently targeting some snipers on the roof of a building, and they said that it was the explosives that the militants had that blew up inside the building that killed everybody. The former Greek Prime Minister Lucas Papademos has been injured in a bomb attack. Apparently an envelope inside his car had some kind of explosive in it. He and his driver both injured and taken to the hospital. There's a report out about a fifth column of the KGB. These former operatives from the KGB have been infiltrating German fight clubs and have been training and recruiting up to 300 and some provocateurs. 7 advertisers have pulled out of Sean Hannity's show as he's accusing the media watchdog of liberal fascism for leading calls for that boycott. Meanwhile, his future at Fox is quite tenuous right now, even though he's been there for quite some time. They're talking about him leaving Fox sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, Seth Rich's family, Seth Rich is the fellow who was killed back in last year, I think June of last year, some ties possibly with the DNC and the hacking claims. Anyway, Hannity has been pushing that story. Fox has backed down off of it. Now, Rich's family says that Kim.com tried to hack into the slain DNC staffer's email in order to plant fake evidence that he gave documents to Wikipedia. In Mindanao, that's in the Philippines, air raids now targeting fighters holed up in the city of Marawi. Some 200,000 civilians have already fled that city. Trump, in speaking to Nato, rebuked 23 of the 28 countries for not paying their fair share in the defense bills. Also caught on camera, Trump physically shoving the Prime Minister of Montenegro out of the way for the photograph, so that Trump was front and center. That Montenegrin fellow, by the way, ended up at the back of the picture. Also, former Secretary of State Kerry says that if you want to influence government right now, the best thing you can do as an American is learn Russian. I'm not sure if that was tongue-in-cheek or not. Trump, speaking about the Manchester attack leaks, the intelligence leaks coming from actually intelligence that was shared from the British to the Americans and then leaked to the media. He's threatening to prosecute over that. Ariana Grande, the singer who, the concert where the Manchester attack happened, she pulled out of her tour. Now she's being criticized on Twitter for, quote, letting the terrorists win. She said that she's not going to do the tour out of respect for the people that were killed. There's a little baby by the name of Charlie Gard in the UK who's got some life-threatening illness. He's got some brain damage. He's on life support. The family wants to take him to America for an experimental treatment. The doctors say, no, it's not going to work. We should just unplug him. The court has now ruled that the baby should die with dignity and has ordered the life support turned off. An Ethiopian court has now jailed a politician, an opposition politician, for 6 years for something he said on Facebook, because he encouraged people to stand up and resist the government and to protest against the government. They're accusing him of terrorism. 6 years in prison for Facebook comments. Paul Ryan has now called on the Montana candidate who allegedly assaulted a reporter to apologize for that, saying it's not appropriate to assault reporters. And there's also a story in Pravda about how the possibility of China, now with their credit rating downgraded by Moody's, it could end up jeopardizing global financial security and stability. The firm behind the Dakota Access Pipeline is facing really intense scrutiny now over a series of leaks. Apparently, it is much worse than was originally reported. In one case, some 2 million gallons spewed out. They're saying that could be as much as twice as much, and it's being covered up by the pipeline, and by the company, and, of course, the folks who criticized the pipeline. They were the ones that were building that pipeline into North Dakota, saying this is what we said was going to happen all along. Libyan Coast Guard apparently opened fire at refugee boats, according to 4 different non-governmental organizations that were there helping the refugees. The embattled Brazilian president, Michael Temer, has now deployed troops to the streets of Brasilia because of the protests going on there. And, as always, many more stories than we have time for. If you want to get 30 to 40 minutes to deliver audio directly to your inbox, all you have to do is send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com, and I'll send you a free sample. If you like it, you can become a subscriber. Last story today, if you'd like to have a little fun, the Daily Mail has a pickup on a story out of Bored Panda, where they show some of the most unnecessary signs that have been posted ever. Things like entrance to the ocean. It's right there on the beach. Another one that says danger, fire is hot. Just in case you were wondering, you might put a little smile on your face on this Friday. That's what I've got for you. Make sure you check out my commentary today, which focuses a little bit on fatherhood and an area where I believe that most fathers are failing, not because, and not intentionally, but because they don't know what to do. I'm going to give you my point of view on that at radiofreespeech.com. Check it out.